shift over to Jake Laravia. There was an article that the Basketball Insider had the opportunity to talk with him, and I just kind of took this snippet from the article, and we can kind of react to it. It says, if Laravia doesn't end up back in Sacramento, he hopes to land on a young, up-and-coming team looking to contend for a championship. Aside from Sacramento, Laravia mentioned Orlando, Detroit, San Antonio, and Denver as possible teams he wants to play for. Sean, you know, it's so weird. We went from players not wanting to play here to young, up-and-coming stretch fours that want to play here now.
In a calendar year.
It's insane, like, what winning does to a franchise. I don't know how familiar you are with a Jake Laravia. Got drafted by Memphis, first round pick. He's with the Kings currently. I like him as a kind of like a buy low option. If you really can't get the type of players that you want in free agency. Shot 40% from three. Would you entertain bringing a guy like that to the Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those, he's just one of those role players that, you're getting a lot of effort out of, but also you can get like a lot of quality shooting. He's one of those Memphis guys that just like suddenly gave you a lot more than you could expect. I definitely think he's someone that, that the Pistons like should have on their radar. And if they're able to go out and like, if the money is right and the market makes sense, to bring him in, I definitely think he's someone, especially if you're not able to bring back like a Hardaway Jr. or a Beasley or a Schroeder. Like if that's something that frees up, I definitely think he's someone who makes a lot of sense. But like to your point, Anthony, it's like literally almost a year ago to the date, I was there draft night after the Pistons selected Ron Holland, and Trajan did not mince words, during his press conference saying that they couldn't get guys to come out and work out for drafts, like to do their draft workout in Detroit, because agents were like, no, we're not sending our guys there. And listen, who could have blamed them? Now, with their ascension, like it is amazing just how quickly things can flip. The fact that like Detroit is a potential destination for guys like a Cade Cunningham is an enticing proposition for guys to play alongside. So I definitely think like he's one of those guys where like there would certainly be more upside than like a Simone Fontecchio. And like if you're talking about like how do you take those next steps, or how do you get to where you can get closer to winning a championship, rounding out your rotation really is one of the ways. And I think Sacramento is going to really want to try to bring Laravia back because they need that type of player. But if he does indeed, like become available and those stars, kind of do align, I wouldn't hate it at all. That's for sure.
Me either. I mean, when you're talking about possibly upgrading the backup power forward position, I think if you watch Laravia and you watch Simone, there are things that Laravia does a lot better than Simone does. And I think it would be a clear upgrade. I was just really surprised that the Pistons were mentioned as a team, and in the same article, contend for a championship in a few years. I'm like, man, like Pistons had a really good season. We're getting rotational role players like that. They kind of look at Cade. They look at, with Sarr. They're like, yeah, Pistons are on the come up. I could play with Cade. I could hit a bunch of threes for the Pistons.
Yeah, man, it is crazy just how much things can, like the conversation can completely change on a flip of a dime if your team goes out and does what it's supposed to, or makes that type of statement. Like we were just talking about a 14-win team like this time last year and going out and getting the right coach and the right front office. And now it's like, okay, well, if they make the right moves, is an Eastern Conference Finals in reach for this team? And the fact that is a completely different conversation is crazy in and of itself. And so, yeah, I like you said, the fact that the Pistons are being mentioned in these types of conversations as like a contending young team, it's not even the fact that like a Jake Laravia feels this way. It's the fact that players are starting to feel this way. And if Jake Laravia feels this way? Does a Naz Reid feel that way? Does the next available star via trade feel that way? That's the stuff that gets really interesting.
Yeah, it really does.